And we're live, according to all indications, on a Thursday night, which means it's almost Friday, which means it's almost the weekend. So, those are all good things. Well, they are for me, anyway. Fucking lockdown hair, though. What the fuck? Like, ugh. I probably still won't be able to get a haircut for a couple of months. Look like a fucking hippie. Hey, Luke, how are you going? Saying Mount Gambier has no gas for 3 days. That would suck, assuming you have gas in your house. Time in Melbourne, we didn't have gas for, it lasted a couple of weeks, if I remember rightly. A month, I don't remember, when the gas power plant blew up and there wasn't a backup plan. No one ever does proper disaster planning where they go like, yeah, but what if like you lost everything? What would you do then? Oh, that's too difficult to prepare for. Okay. Hey, Peter, how are you going? Toby, will AD join us tonight? I don't know. I think he wasn't having a particularly good day today. I did talk to him. So at this point, I honestly couldn't tell you if he was going to join us. It'd just be a case of waiting and seeing. Okay, so the controls on this dumb fucking webcam still aren't working. Get started. Yes, sure. I think I'm going to have to fucking uninstall it and reinstall it. Don't think I'm going to have it. It's just fucking stopped working. Stupid fucking thing. Really annoying. RUOK Day. Got an email reminder. Team meeting. We're discussing how people are going to be made redundant. Are you okay? Yeah, fine. That's the thing. Good conceptually, RUOK Day, bringing mental health questions front and center, but it so rarely means anything from either government or corporate entities. It's just window dressing. It's bullshit. Thank you, Peter. I'm glad you like my hair. Thinking of dyeing purple. You can see how much, you can't necessarily see how much gray is coming through. That's like the beard. The beard is the giveaway. It grows faster and holds color less well than my hair. The beard is my real hair color. Hey, Glee. Glee, I do hate the webcam. I really do. I hate the software that controls the webcam that insists on fucking me about. It's really annoying. And if I go, where is it? Razor. Synapse. Yeah, no, just maybe I should do it before the live stream, but then that's often fucked up in the past. It's what's this do? No, that's just a different control panel. Okay. This is redonkulous. Really fucking annoying me. Toby, you think Celtic King loves my hair too? Well, that's good. Oh, nice, Glee. You got some hair dye today. What are you going to do? I actually do have some purple hair dye, and I was waiting to see what my employment status was because as a contractor, it was in this weird limbo. Where I wasn't sure what was going to happen past the end of this month, but now apparently I shall be stable probably until June next year, which would be fucking good. Would be fucking excellent. And if that turns out to be true, I might dye my hair purple in celebration. Luke, you got grey on the hair, you're only 34. I think I saw my first grey hair when I was about 27, 28. But I've always dyed my hair. Like my natural hair color was quite dark. And I would dye it like a blue-black in my 20s and 30s. So I don't really know when I started going grey because I was coloring it all the time. But when they cut it, it would show up. And so, yeah, I was probably going grey at 34 too. Peter, you're letting your greys grow out. It's good. Invisible Chicken, hello. Zvan, you got made retrenched. Yeah, sucks. Oh, man. It's so volatile. I really didn't know what was going to happen past the end of this month. And it looks like things are going to work out for me, which is fucking great. Fully acknowledge so many people are having such a fucking shit run of it at the moment. Oh, nice. Glee, Golden Brown, aka the Strangers. Stranglers, not strangers. Golden Brown. Sounds nice. Yes, that's what I say when I put a color in and the grey picks it up. I call it natural highlights. Peter, are you asking me how old I am? 54. Ozvan, you're able to get some bits of work, so that's okay. That's okay. Still going great at 36. Don't like it because it's just pissy bits here and there. Yeah. Oh, Peter, trying to keep your business going with just the ridiculousness of the world at the moment. It's just, ugh. It's like literally facing a once in 100 years event is pretty full on. So, I just wanted to check something before we went much further. Something I had my eye on in my freezer. I just need to check. No, still hasn't frozen down. Trying to make another thing of clear ice with a different container, a longer, skinnier one. Have to look at it again in the morning. Oh my God, yes, Van, the LNP in New South Wales is wild. For those who missed it, it's a pretty big story. The Conservative coalition in New South Wales, the governing party, the Liberal National Party coalition, the Liberals are apparently introducing some like weak as piss minor protections for koalas that are critically endangered at the moment. And the Nationals have chucked a wobbly saying, but this would stop those farmers from bulldozing everything in sight. And they say they're leaving the coalition. Wow, Peter, you're 60 next year. Again, I thought you were much younger than that. But there you go. It's the spirit that counts. Yeah, so the National Party wankers said they were going to leave the coalition, not support the government, and they're going to sit on the crossbenches. But they want to keep their ministerial jobs because it pays a lot of money. And Gladys Berejiklian has told them, go fuck yourself. Hellian, hello to you. Kirsten, good to see you. So the Gladys has apparently walked into a meeting with these wankers from the Nationals and just said, never been more disgusted with you in the 3.5 years we've been working together. Either you are in this coalition or your letter of resignation is on my desk before 9 a.m. tomorrow, and just walked out, no discussion. Fucking funny. But anyway. Kirsten, you're glad the libs and the bats are breaking up over koalas. And it's just that anything proposed by the Liberal Party in terms of environmental protection would have been weak as piss. The Nationals just chucked a massive wobbly, and it's just hilarious. Yeah. So the big thing, the reason these fucking pricks from the National Party said they weren't resigning their ministerial positions is because that means a fuckload of money, just an enormous amount of money, not just their direct salary, which is huge, but the perks of the office and the staff that you get as a minister that you don't get as a backbencher or an independent. And they're going, oh, we're going to be independent, but also keep our ministerial authority and pay. And Gladys has gone, no, you're fucking not. And has just fucking, laid it on the line with them. It's complicated because, like, for instance, when Dan Andrews had some shit with a minister a couple months back, he just went, okay, you're fired, because it was his party and he could do that. And the Nationals are not under Gladys Berejiklian's control. They're a coalition partner. They're not her party, so she can't sack them. And if they say, we're not resigning, she can't sack them. She constitutionally would have to go to the governor and say, I want you to sack them. Very complicated. Kirsty, you've found your passport down to the last few zones of packing. Oh, good luck. It's quite the slog. I'm sure you'll get there. Hey, Charlie, hello. How are you this evening? Yes, it would be fun if they destroy each other. It'd be pretty goddamn funny, quite honestly. Luke, no one wants the curfew in place in Melbourne. You've just got these right-wing fuckwits, the Liberal Party, and like Murdoch media. And like I said, it's always really hard to tell. The Murdoch media, the publicity wing of the Liberal Party, or is the Liberal Party the publicity wing of the Murdoch media? It's very hard to be sure. But they're just spouting shit. Oh, sorry, Jim. I did see the big dangly ones. There you go. I was just in the middle of talking about something else. Great big wobbly dangly ones. So, hey, Safa, good evening to you. Yes. So it is interesting. There's a lot of argument over who wanted the curfew, who thinks it's a good idea, who thinks it's a bad idea. Some people are confused by it. I personally think the reason for the curfew is people are assholes. They'd worked out the main source of disease spread was social family gatherings, people breaking the rules and having large groups going around to each other's houses and just thinking the rules didn't apply to them. The curfew was a way of going, okay, no one's allowed out. We already told you you can't go visiting people, and you fuckwits kept doing it. If we introduce this rule, there's an actual curfew, then you can be charged just for being out at night because you couldn't fucking follow rules. So we've put this rule in that let us just go, fuck you. I think it's really obvious that's why they did it, because no one was paying attention to directions. You can't go around visiting people. You can't go around to your family's place. And so it's like, okay, we'll just do a blanket curfew. You just can't be out. And so there's no argument there about what you're doing. Stella, a conspiracy about Secure Cities program, which the UN orchestrated a psyop for the protests so they can defund the police. Now the UN sent police to Melbourne. Jesus Christ. But that's what the Q fuckwits, and because sadly we have them in Australia, Trump-loving conspiracy idiots, they actually keep doing this thing saying Scott Morrison should send the army in and arrest Dan Andrews. It's like, they're absolutely fucking unhinged. It's quite bizarre to see. Yeah, we just live in very strange times, basically. Yes, look, you definitely can't drive from Geelong to Melbourne to get fast food. It is very much that is the rule. So yes, you could be moving into exciting times, Kirsten, moving to Sydney just as the government implodes, possibly. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows where that's going? It's all somewhat up in the air at the moment. Very dramatic day. Very, very dramatic. Tomorrow could either be like a fizzle letdown where the Nats have had their bluff called and they sheepishly go back and do what they're told, or it could be even more dramatic. Ha! Stella, the Q Mob think Avi, the wife beater, is playing into the hands of the psyop. Well, he is Jewish. And as much as he pals around with actual Nazis, actually Hitler worshipping Nazis, that is probably easy. I will email him a link because he is going to join us. Well, we'll see how long it takes. Just waiting for something to load. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Link. So we are apparently going to get AIDSy at some point. Catherine, you went to a Q meeting. They were against halal meat. You think you fell asleep in the meeting? Oh no, we wouldn't like that. Glee, your son's actually dropped his Wilder 5G conspiracies. That's good. I think you got one too many things removed from thing. Yeah. Jim, subject change, the June trailer. I did see it. I hold hopes it will be a good movie. I did read the original June trilogy way back because I was a real sci-fi nerd. Read most of the sci-fi classics. Thanks for dropping by, Peter. It's always good to hear from you. Kirsten, you're invested more in Mark McGowan than Dan. You're not Victorian, just live here. Yeah, that's fair. Blind Cat, hello. Looks a bit dry. Wah, wah. Yeah, I don't know. It's very. I did watch the trailer. It doesn't really tell you anything. Just a lot of very quick shot. Actually, no, I'm lying. It did actually tell you a bit. The trailer, but we'll see. There you go, Van. You're going to help debunk 5G conspiracies because you're a network engineer. That is handy. Oh God, I saw this just dumb as shit thing. I mean, I see dumb as shit things on Twitter every day, but to me, it's always I find it funny to see Dr. Carl respond to absolute fucking idiots because he never tells anyone they're an absolute fucking idiot. He's always very kind and gentle. And someone posted a comment to him saying, 5G conspiracy bullshit. He's going, my dad was a telephony engineer in the 90s, and he did a thing where he got two mobile phones, they called each other and sat them down and put an egg between them. 10 minutes later, the egg was cooked. And then my dad got face cancer and his jaw came off. And Dr. Carl just calmly went, that seems unlikely. There would be some literature to back that up if that was a thing that happened. Like, obviously, it's just a stupid, idiotic, deranged lie. Like, it's such a pathetic, obvious lie. It's a little bit sad how pathetic and obvious it is. And Dr. Carl didn't say shut the, which is what I would have said. He just said, oh, that seems unlikely. Blind Cat, you were sent a link of Rule 34. Is Rule 34 the porn one? I always have trouble remembering if it exists, there's porn of it. Zvan, hate most IT. You don't have social media outside of YouTube and Reddit. Fair. Invisible Chicken. Dr. Carl's always friendly. He's a great man. He's great. Clear, you heard from Mystery Eye on YouTube the other day. All these videos removed. Blast from the past eye. Wow. That is a blast from the past, most definitely. Luke, I bet there is at least, slash fic. Someone will have done it. Blind Cat wants help with Rule 34. Is Rule 34 the porn one? Now I'm compelled to look it up. Rule 34, internet meme, internet pornography exists, for every conceivable topic. That's what Rule 34 is. If it exists, there's porn of it. And which is frighteningly true. Again, it's not going to literally be true in every single case, but in a just mind-boggling, disturbing number of cases. My personal favorite is the weird self-published stuff on Amazon, like the big breakout star of that is Chuck Tingle with his Pounded in the Butt books that took on this weird metaphysical thing. But Chuck Tingle's really cool and has this whole mythos around it. But there are all these weird things. There's dinosaur porn. It's like humans and dinosaurs existing at the same time, and the humans are having sex with the dinosaurs. Fucking weird. But anyway. Fair call, Charlie. If there's angry Aussie porn, Celtic King made it. That actually seems apt. Or Aidsy, who might be joining us soon. Oh, gosh, yes. Anti-vaxxers would definitely test Dr. Carl's patients. Just because anti-vaxxers kill people. What are you saying? Bye-bye belly. What do people do if you say, no, not okay at all, can't go on? Oh, okay. Are you okay day, bye-bye belly? I get where you're coming from. I think the most... and okay, I do actually want to bring it back to that, because today is Are You Okay Day. We talked about it a bit at the start of the stream. Conceptually, I think it's a good thing. Acknowledging mental health issues are real. You should reach out to people and that type of thing. But it's been corporatized. It's just window dressing for corporates and politicians to do anything. But if you do, whether it's on Are You Okay Day or any other day, reach out to someone and say, are you okay? And they're not. They can't go on any longer. I always think the first thing to do is listen. Don't question or critique why they're finding it difficult or why they're depressed or why everything is too much. First and foremost, listen. Just listen. And then if you have very real, genuine concerns for the person, try and connect them with professional health services. There are a lot of free services in Australia, at least. Everything from, in critical emergency situations, Lifeline, people who are trained to talk to someone who's contemplating self-harm or suicide. Their Headspace, there's a few others. There are some very good services. So my advice would be, first up, just listen. Definitely don't say, what do you have to be depressed about? Oh, get over it, or toughen up, or you'll be okay. Because in many cases they won't be, but just listen. And if the person is in a really bad way, do everything in your power to connect them with professional services that can help them. It's not on you. I think if you ask someone, you should definitely listen if they say they're not okay, but it's not on you to solve their issues. There are people with professional training that be a good person and do everything in your power to help connect them to the services that can help them. First and foremost, listen and acknowledge what people are saying, and then do what you can to put them in contact with the right people. Oh, gross. Yeah, no, Kirsten, you are far from the only person who's told me that. Person who's been responsible for your struggles makes this gross display of caring on our RUOK Day, and it's sickening. So many people have told me that uh, that they live in a workplace, work in a workplace where either the place generally or someone specifically is really fucking them about. And but then that person makes a big show of caring, and it's just like, no, it's fucked. It is absolutely fucked. Bye bye, Belly. I can imagine it could be difficult to get a psychologist time, but there's also there are critical care options if that's necessary. Just getting to talk to someone, like a counselor or a psychologist, can be difficult at the moment, certainly. But yeah, it's like, don't be scared to talk to a GP and tell them that you think, you really quite urgently need support in this area, because it's important. It's real and it's important. Yeah, see, Invisible Chicken saying your dad doesn't understand that you have mental health issues, not okay. It's like the stupidest thing someone can say when you are dealing with mental health issues. Just deal with it. It's all in your head. And going, yes, it really, really is. That would be what mental health is about. And the thing is, it is absolutely real, and there are so many causes. But the most important thing is to understand that it's real and can be treated. So yeah. Oh yeah, Stella, absolutely. I can imagine you don't want to talk about it with just anyone. Absolutely give you the shits. The lip service and corporatism. Ugh. Oh yeah, and pink brick. It's like pink ribbon. That's a good summary. It's just like, what the fuck. Yes. Bye bye belly. That is a good point. Critical care, psychiatric units are sometimes not great. Some counselors, some psychologists are not great. You're typing with one arm because you've got an IV in your arm. Well, I hope you're being looked after. It's absolutely like, your first. It's like with physical health issues. You want to go to a doctor, a GP, or if it's serious, you want to go to an emergency ward. It's obviously the right thing to do. Mental health issues, the right things to do are talk to a GP or a crisis line or a counselor or a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Some of them are shit. Some people in their job are shit, or they'll be shit for you. They might be good for someone else, but they'll be shit for you. And that's really important to acknowledge. There are so many variables in care of all types, and even just not just caring roles. Whatever the job, there are shit electricians, there are shit plumbers. And if you're unlucky enough to get a shit one, it could really put you off going for help again when you need it. With whatever we're talking about, you can't poop. It'd be like AIDSy and wear a nappy. Adult diaper. But Invisible Chicken, you had your first NDIS planning meeting. Oh, can already feel the bureaucracy. Yes. Glee, your doctor kept telling you you'd be okay. Took lockdown and telehealth for him to pick up. Oh, there you go. Yeah, but you've got some antidepressants helping. Well, that's a place. And that's Zvan. That is another good one. Sometimes someone is actually good, but they just overworked, or there are outside pressures and whatnot. And so the day you see them, it's a really shitty experience. And yes, Luke, there are shit YouTubers, definitely. Oh my God, bye Billy, you missed AIDS's story last night of the world's biggest poo that needed medical help to come out. It was a truly horrific story. A lot of people who are here in the chat were here last night for his story on that front. And I would just reassure you that your experience is not going to be as freaky as his, because nobody's experiences are freakier than AIDS's. Basically, that's what it comes down to. Uh, oh no, Luke, you missed the world's biggest poo story too. Oh no. Well, it's up on YouTube. You can watch it back. Ah, see, yeah, Invisible Chicken, you got to remind them of everything. Severe depression because they were focused on your ASC. Yeah. Oh my God, did you miss it too, Invisible Chicken? Oh well. Oh well. It is up on YouTube. It's last night's. Um, where AD spends a good half hour, 45 minutes graphically describing his adventures with the world's biggest poo. So fairly warned be ye if you're going to watch it. It is quite the roller coaster going on AIDS's story. So it's just these latest things, huh? But I don't want him to tell it again. I was about to say he said he's going to join us. Which he probably will sometime in the next hour. But yes, he would, with no provocation, tell the story all over again. I'm going to stop him. Oh yes, they've been giving you the drinks and stuff by Belly. They're gonna it's gonna work eventually. Usually in a big one. Oh yes, Glee, you were here for the story. Charlie agrees it was spectacular. Yeah, in the pantheon of AIDSy stories, that is a pretty spectacular one. So it's right out there. Oh wow, that sounds interesting. Invisible Chicken doing an essay about cultural relativism of human rights, which ended up feminist. Sounds good. Hey Annette, yeah, Kirsten, I don't want to hear it again. This is a yeah. Bye Belly. Yeah, be swelling up with blockage. Yes, it'll go eventually. Glee, you gotta watch out for the suppository. Yeah, the things will happen. Uh, I like quite a few years back. My girlfriend was a nurse, and she told me once because they had a patient who was more than a little blocked up. The doctor wanted her to glove up and digitally agitate and try and get it out. And he's like, you can do that. And she's like, I could, but you get paid more than me. So fuck you. You're doing it. That's not what I'm here for. And she actually made the doctor do it. So, oh gosh, with the whole pregnant with a little brown baby. Oh no. Okay. I just realized how bad that might make me sound taken out of context. But oh yes, bodies. What even are they? This is the thing I come back to when you get creationists who try and dress up their dumb creationist theory by saying, "Oh, it's not creationism; it's intelligent design." They reject science, specifically evolution. That's it, Alexander. Manual disimpaction. That is it. That's the voice of experience. L3, hello. How are you doing? Did I say hi ho, Annette? Hi ho, Annette. Yeah, so manual disimpaction. What a great word. Which means someone sticking a finger up your butt and trying to dislodge things. Yeah, Annette, I do think we need to get past El Lockdowno. Uh, I don't think, although I was wrong this time, but I don't think they could possibly extend it past this 2 weeks. It'd just be too much. We'll see what happens. Oh, by belly, you're blocked high up, so manual disimpaction won't. Yeah, that's why they'd be giving you drinks to get everything moving. Yeah. Well, at least you have people caring for you, so that's good. Sharing the drinking under lockdown rules. By belly, you were drinking heavily. Process of quitting. I cut back because I realized how much I was drinking because was doing this live stream. Uh, uh, 5 to 7 nights a week, and I was having at least 2 or 3 drinks every live stream, and that's too much. So I cut it right back to most nights. I'll either have no alcohol or I'll make one alcoholic drink. Friday tends and Saturday. If I do a live stream on Saturday night, but Friday night tends to be party night where I'll have quite a few drinks, but other nights not so much. Although I was going to do a taste test tonight, actually. And here's AZ.
Hello,
Hey,
hello. It's me. It's AZ. I'm here on the electric broadcasting machine that
yes.
says hello to the peeps. Hello, peeps.
Hello,
And
Pete.
I have interesting stories to tell this evening. Just a quick one. I'm in the doghouse.
Oh, no.
Because I lost my temper in front of a nurse.
I know.
And I know you went, oh no.
Yeah.
I thought the news hasn't got that far that quick.
No. I said
It got
no.
all over the fucking hospital that quick.
I know you don't like to get in the wrong side of nurses.
No. I fucking so the doctors came around and gave me the drum, and I negotiated a deal with them, and then they went and promptly fucking reneged on every fucking point of the deal. Everything. Everything. They just went fucking and overrode everything.
Yeah.
That we'd agreed upon. And we had agreed upon these points. We negotiated them and agreed upon them. And no, fuck him. And then the nurse comes in innocently and says, "Oh, you can't do this now because the chart's been changed." And I said, "What's been changed to?" And she told me, and I went, "Those fucking lying bastards. Those fucking bastards." And right at the top of my theatrical voice. My best theatrical scream. Well, not scream, but yell. And the whole ward heard every pin drop word that I said. And finally, I caught up with her moments later and said, "You know that wasn't at you, right? You understand that wasn't you, don't you?" And she said, "Yeah, but it did scare me." And I went, "Oh." Yeah. And I thought, that's it. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And also too, she's a really brilliant human being, and did not want to upset her.
Sorry, I just really quickly want to interrupt in the chat. A YouTuber with a channel name Bye Bye Belly. She is in the hospital on a drip, and she is impacted. Yeah, met Bye Bye Belly. I've forgotten your real name, but I know we've met. You came to when we were at the burger place in Footscray, if I remember rightly. She's in hospital, impacted. She's on a drip, and the things they've given her, and she's apologizing for taking stuff in a weird direction. But I went, no, that's our normal direction. That is our normal direction. Glee is also sharing stories of being impacted while in the same place that you're in now.
Hang on,
So,
I'm trying to show you my band so that I can prove I'm in hospital.
Yeah, no,
And
we
not
believe.
just in a yellow room.
So, sorry, I just wanted to reassure Bye Bye Belly that that's not a weird direction. That's our normal direction.
So
And
she's impacted and on a drip.
yeah,
Oh, that's bad.
they've been given her.
Bad.
She says it looks like she's pregnant at the moment. It's sort of
Yeah,
impacted
it
higher
does.
up.
It does. When
Yeah.
you're on a drip and you're impacted.
Kindred, that was it. We met at Kindred Studios. Yes. Okay.
And
Anyway, you can go.
it's bad because you're a bee's dick away from being operated on. Is she going to be operated on, or are they going to push it?
They're giving us stuff to drink that's meant to push it through.
Oh, it's going to be fine, darling.
You just pulled that back in time. You just pulled that back in time.
You're going to be cool. Just what I'm going to say is between contractions, breathe.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
Really fucking relax. Think about your bum muscles as something that don't need to be there. Just let them flop about. They will come back to size eventually. And the only place that you should be feeling any pushing is in the top of your tummy. Nowhere else. It'll be fine, hon. The stuff they're giving you will let this stuff slide right on out of you.
Sorry, Annette's just saying she re-listened to the world's biggest poo story today. I don't know why she says, but I just went and listened to it again.
So she doesn't believe a fucking word I just said.
Yeah. She's just waiting. Nothing's working so far. Yeah.
That's the worst time. Because for 3 days they were giving me stuff and going, oh, yeah, this is the go. Oh, this is the stuff. Oh, this is the go. And then toward the end, they're starting to get open-eyed about how much of the stuff I'm taking down and how much is not happening. And then finally, during a doctor's visit, I've gone, oh my, now is the time. And they went, really? I went, no, this is it. My body is telling me now is the time. And then, 45 minutes later, out I come going, I'm 4 kilos lighter and a little bit wiser.
Yeah, a little wiser.
And a little piece of me has gone away. And I'm never going
to return. Hey, total different subject. Remember I was drinking this moonshine the other night?
And
they just called it cane spirit because it's unaged spiced white rum.
Yeah, nice.
The other thing I had on order arrived, which is actually a white rum. And it doesn't have an age statement on it, so it's probably been aged for the minimum, like a year. But this is a blend of triple distilled, pot still, and column still rums aged in American oak barrels. The rum has undergone a light filtering to remove colour, with refreshing citrus notes on the nose and a hint of buttery roundness. The rum has a clean palate, soft raisin fruit, long balanced finish, ideal mixer base for classic cocktails, such as mojitos or daiquiris. It's from Santa Lucia in the West Indies. So this is a West Indian rum.
Perfect sense.
That makes perfect sense.
In West Indies.
So I'm going to do a side-by-side.
Thing is, but oh my.
Refresh my memory on the moonshine.
Roll it around the tongue. Let some of that go before you.
God, you feel it going down on the tongue.
It is razor blades on the way down.
It is it's actually pretty good. Like the cinnamon and stuff on the tongue is pretty good, but as when you swallow, like your throat's going, that's a lot of ethanol.
Yeah. I'm on fire. Yep.
You rinse my mouth with some water. And now, because I haven't tried this one, I'll just crack it.
Oh, Jesus.
God, what do they reckon is on the nose? It's fucking nail polish remover on the nose.
Because you know, if I was there, I'd be doing it with you, right?
Oh yeah. Citrus notes. They reckon citrus. Yeah, honestly, maybe. I think it's burning some nose hairs as well, but you know,
Yeah.
it's like,
And the membrane between your nose and your brain starting to melt.
oh, so much smoother. It's this one bites a little bit.
It fights back. I don't want to get smoked, swallow by
Now my tongue's
because it's isn't the 100%, isn't it Cajun?
Yeah, I know. So the white rum is 43% alcohol, and the cane spirit's 45%. So they're comparable, but the rum has been aged. It is definitely smoother.
In actual barrels.
But this is a mixer. It worked very well as a mixer. Just as not something I'd drink straight.
The pots, you know the difference between pot still and column stilling?
Oh, I've read about it, but
the basic difference is the column stilling. Okay, pot stilling is what you imagine when you see distilleries. It's a big copper pot.
I know what they physically look like. A pot still is a little round thing, and a column still is literally a big, tall.
It's a building
column.
high.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest one in the world was in Ireland, and it was 10 stories high, and there were two of them running 24 hours a day, and they made the roughest Irish whiskey, but they used to blend it, and it was okay. But they feed the feedstock goes in continually, and it runs all the time.
Yeah.
And so they wait for a bolus to get at the header tank, drop it, and the shotman, the guy who calls the shots, pulls a certain amount out of each bolus and then just lets it run. And the specific weight of the alcohol makes it run down a slope, and it'll fall the heavier it is. Yeah? And the heavier it is, the more water it's got in it. And that gets fed straight back in. So it's just nothing's wasted. And only the top three lightest fractions get poured off into more stainless steel tanks. There is not a piece of wood to be found. And if they age them, they stick them in massive stainless steel tanks, and they throw oak branches in, and they throw barley sheaves, not with the heads on, but the sheaves in, and they flavour it. One of these column stilled places got done because they got caught putting food flavouring in their whiskey. It had nothing to do with the actual whiskey. All they were making was ethanol alcohol and putting food colouring and food flavouring in. And they only got busted because somebody said, how did they put out a line of whiskey the year they started? How did that work? And then the investigation started. Because in Ireland, of course, and in Scotland,
they're pretty serious.
In Scotland, they're very serious.
They're pretty serious.
In Scotland, they get inspected 4 times a year by the government, who comes around with inspectors who are usually ex-distillers, and they go right through. They go right through the process to the point where they look at grain, taste it, and to make sure it's top grain, and they look at your water supply. Where's your water from? Can you trace it? And they look at your stills, one of your stills has to be cold and empty for them to go inside. They check out your columns, and they have to have viewing glasses in your columns off your pots, and they have to see what's going on, and then they go into the tasting room, and they have to have lined up all of the single malts that you've put out in the last 5 years, and that can be 10 glasses, and all of the blends that can be 60 glasses. And they go through them. And,
I just wanted to go to the chat, and it was talking about what gin should she get, and Kirsten was suggesting a couple local ones that are hurting from lockdown, including Tiny Bear, which I got the 3. You can get a little sample pack, 3 little ones of their 3 key gins. And it's funny, we're talking about distillation. They have this fun thing on their website: sugar plus kale plus water plus yeast equals alcohol. Alcohol plus distillation equals vodka. Vodka plus juniper plus botanicals plus more distillation is Tiny Bear Gin. That's the steps you go through. But yeah, Annette, go to Tiny Bear and get the sample pack. You get the Doctor, the Gypsy, and the Sailor as 3 quite different gins they make. And you got little sample bottles, and they're good. And then when you finish them, you've got cool little bottles as well. Because
was it Tiny Bear that put out that screed about what Tiny Bear Gin is? Was it them that said this is what gin is?
Oh, they're all the Australian distillers are fairly passionate about what they're doing and how they're doing it. You get some really fun writing on the labels of the gins and the whiskies, and even the vermouths. Some of the ad copy on the vermouth bottles is quite humorous.
I know that the Australian whiskey distillers, when they started, they weren't allowed to sell whiskey because the Scots and the Irish put a High Court ban on anything other than something coming from Scotland and Ireland being called whiskey. And of course, whiskey's spelled differently if it's from Ireland or Scotland. Okay. And so they were calling it Nisky and Nin for a while. But you've got to be going for a few years before you get your feet. And these folks down the South Coast, I don't know what they're called now, were sort of starting out, and their whiskey and gin was a bit but apparently now people make annual pilgrimages to get cases of
Kirsten knows the story. There's like one guy in Australia who legitimised whiskey making in Australia. Now there are more like Kirsten's just finishing up at the Starwood Distillery down the road from me. She's moving to Sydney, but there are a few quite recognised whiskies in Australia. But apparently it's like one guy. As one guy was responsible for legitimising whiskey in Australia.
Yeah.
So,
as I understand it, he badgered the Australian government to at least talk to the Whiskey Council and say, look, Canadians are allowed to have whiskey. It was only the Canadians and other people make, their own local. We've got the best grains in the world. And they did a dirty deal. Grandpa Bill Lark. It was Bill Lark. It comes back to me now.
Yeah.
And they did a dirty deal with the Scots and sent over a couple of ships worth of Australian grain. And the Irish fucking lost their shit and said, if you're going to be doing that, you're going to be sending a couple of ships our way as well. And the Australians went, Okay, how bad? Sent a couple of ships their way, and nowadays they send a ship a year full of grain. And you know how big Australian grain ships are. They're not fucking around in terms of tonnage. And Irish whiskey, and it's kind of cool to know that there's a little piece of home as you're getting shattered on good peaty, smoky, fucking single malt.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make
do.
a daiquiri out of each of these and compare.
Each at the same time, or each one?
No, I'm going to do them side by side.
Okay, because I was thinking if you're going to mix, this is going to be a long show.
No. I want to see what they taste like.
Because have you ever noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that the more enthusiastic Angry gets about his cocktails, the longer the show gets?
It's only Fridays. They could just go for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, only Fridays. Not on a school night.
Not on a school night.
On a school night, 4 or 5 cocktails is enough. You know, I'm only jealous because they've cut my drugs down by half.
I'm trying to find where I put everything. Gonna need my strainer, gonna need my shaker, gonna need some ice. I might just use that ice actually.
Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
I had 4 of the nurses come in and do stuff for me.
Yeah.
And they all said, here you go, don't lose your temper now. Oh, okay. Can you fucking stab me some more? Because nurses are not allowed to mistreat you or judge you in any way.
Yeah.
They have their little ways. And it's like, yep. And I think what was really rude from my end was that I've been the most pleasant, the most friendly patient ever. And when I fucking lost it, the animal came out and they just weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
They're just like, he's got some fucking nasty in here.
Yeah.
That we've got to now watch for all the time. And they don't, because it's not going to happen again. Because I'm not going to get angry again.
Yeah.
I'm going to grit my teeth and say, can I get on the phone to the doctor, please? And shout down the phone at the doctor.
Yeah. Doctors, you do it to them.
I shouldn't have done it, but I just lost it. I'd had a bad day.
Yeah.
The peeps don't know, but I'm just going to tell them. My phone's fucked up. When you're in hospital, you need communication. And my phone doesn't work. I have very limited communication. And I've got to get it back. All of the phone repair people have shut down for the duration of the congratulation. Fucking all of them. I even got onto Telstra today and said, do you fix phones? And they went, oh yeah, we fix phones. We send them back to the USA to Apple and they come back in 2 months. And I've got to have a phone in days, because what happens when you get out of hospital is you get all of these appointments, these outpatient appointments. And I've got appointments with my normal doctors as well. And if you're not on the phone when they ring, one of them particularly gives me a late fee of $115. So I've got now $230 to pay this guy because he called me and couldn't get hold of me once when I was in hospital and once this time round. And he goes, my time. And his time, he charges people who are normal $320 per half hour. I don't pay that much because I'm on the pension. I get it on Medicare. But I'm still out of pocket $100 and something every time I go see the guy. So thank Christ it's only once every couple of months. Anyway, I've got other doctors to see, and they're just as they charge like wounded bulls as well. And if you don't show up for your appointment, they get a little bit shifty. But what's nice about those doctors is if they say 4:15, at 4:15, the door opens and they say, please come this way. If you go to your normal public doctors and they say, oh, come in at 4:15 or 4:25, and you go, that's a bit bloody accurate. That's a bit bloody precise. And you go in there at about 6:30, 7:30, they'll wander out and go, so, Adrian Salieri, you want to come in? And it's like, I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before. And then they'll sit down and they go, I've just been reading your file. And you go, yes, you've just been reading it right now in front of me. And they'll ask you questions that are obvious if they'd read the file is answered 2 pages later. And sometimes when it's really late, I'll say, oh, yes, it's answered 2 pages later. And they'll look at me like, don't call me out on my lateness. And they'll read 2 pages and go, oh, you're right. There are, however, some doctors who make you wait an hour and a half and they go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can I get you a coffee or something? Because you've been waiting here so long. We've been so slammed. I've read your file while you were waiting, and I'll try and make this quick. And I go, don't make it thorough, because they're usually my kidney doctors. Kidney doctors, they take, their patients take a lot of time, because some of their patients are fucking enormous. They're actually bariatric patients, really. And what's happened is, my God, look at those daiquiris.
Oh, see, that's the moonshine, and the simple addition of lime and sugar syrup make it sublime. Oh no, they even taste different now.
Similar, almost the same.
The rum's actually, it's funny, as a mixer, the rum's actually a bit more robust. But it's sort of like, that moonshine, swallowing it is like, ooh, that's a lot of ethanol. Ooh, they haven't taken the edges off that. But just lime and sugar, as the bloody Royal Navy found out. Bit of lime juice and sugar thrown in your rum, and down she goes.
I just love the idea of salty sea dogs drinking daiquiris.
Basically what they were drinking, yes. I
don't know if they had night tonight. It'll be a hard night for buttery tonight. Daiquiri.
Yeah, I don't know if they had nice glassware like this, but this is basically what they were drinking.
Well, they used to drink out of pewter mugs, and it was always pewter because pewter is easy to clean and stays clean. That's why pewter. I didn't know that. And if they could afford it, they drink out of silver mugs. But they never brought the silver mugs on board ship because some bastard would pinch it. So pewter mugs. And you know the pewter mugs with the glass in the bottom?
Yes.
That's an Australian invention. And they had the glass in the bottom because as you brought the beer up to your head, if someone was about to punch you, you could see them coming. And that's what it's for. I thought, oh, that's a myth. And then I went into it and no, that's what it's for. That's why it was invented. Because too many guys would wait till some guy had a beer up and they
really occupied
going. And also, too, if you get a pewter mug slammed into your head,
it's not good.
It's going to make a mark in a colony that doesn't have a lot of surgeons.
No.
You're talking about waiting for healthcare here.
Yeah.
You could wait for days for a surgeon over there. The nurses were apparently pretty good and they were pretty liberal with the morphine.
Yeah. Kirsten says bartenders call little daiquiris snackeries. So I suppose
Oh,
that's as opposed to a blender daiquiri.
yeah.
So having a couple of snackeries. There's a slight difference between them, but slightly unexpectedly in my mind, I'm going for the moonshine as the preferred mixer.
Look, I actually buy that because moonshine in and of itself isn't actually flavoured. What people get when they drink moonshine is they get the hit of the alcohol, and it burns like the bejesus.
Yeah,
And that's what you get. You also get a bit of the grain
yeah,
that was used, and of course in America it's yeah, most often barley.
yeah,
Um,
rye or barley.
and rye, yeah, um, and so they're they're expectant of that. Um, Here in Australia, moonshine can be made out
Mm.
of fucking anything.
Oh,
We have a multitude of plants that you can crush up and ferment.
yeah.
Um, what I found was really quite frightening was a lot of moonshiners would go what they call the fermented um, mix of grains and fruits and whatever and yeast. They call that beer, and they pour the beer
Mm,
into the still, and they still that out.
mm,
Anyway, they would go to their beer barrels, their beer stock, and find it light. And what would be happening is people would be going in buckets and filling up buckets with beer. Now you've got to know that it's full of rotting grain, fruit,
mm.
yeast, everything nasty, and they would be drinking that. Um, God, you'd have to be desperate. Um, and yeah, if you could steal it, it'd be free because there's no way you're stealing moonshine.
Oh, I
Because
was going to say bye to Bye Bye Belly. She's saying she's not sure why you're in hospital, but hope you feel better. He's in hospital for everything. Okay, it's just everything.
it's just everything, but it's mostly brain damage.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh God! Just talk the whole talk of distilling, fermenting. I don't know how good your internet is there in the hospital, but I found a YouTube channel that I think you would love. It's called Bearded and Bored, as in he's a guy with a beard who is bored, and all these videos are just his home fermentation and home distilling and stuff, and he seems to get really amazing results with some of the stuff he does.
It's
And of course,
fantastic.
because what he's doing, home distilling is, I believe, technically illegal. Um,
Yes, in the
when he's putting
United
stuff together
States.
and saying, then you do that, do you do that, and and there'll be a caption underneath saying, theoretically,
Yeah, if
theoretically
you
do this,
if you
then
distill at home in the United States more than 500 mils, which is nothing,
yeah,
and
he
if
does
you
it
can
in big
distill,
buckets.
you're
Yeah,
gonna fill um, buckets or barrels,
yeah,
um, and that's illegal. It's
yeah,
not illegal if you pour petrol into it or gas. Then
yeah,
it becomes fuel. If you denature the alcohol, then you're fine.
yeah,
Um, and some people actually distill their moonshine to sell as fuel
yeah,
because then the government can tax it at a much lower rate and the fuel companies haven't got their bit out. So instead of $1.80 a litre, it comes in at, you know, uh, 40 cents a litre. And most of your country folk are more than happy and go and stick locally made gasoline
mm,
into your pickup truck. Don't have to run smooth. It's got to run.
yeah,
Um, uh, the United States Air Force runs every single vehicle they own on jet fuel. every single vehicle they own. And it's particular jet fuel, which is actually more like diesel. And you'll see these B-52s take off with this black smoke behind them. And that's because the diesel part of the fuel is burning and smoking out the back. The reason they do this is they can bulk buy millions of tons of jet fuel, 1C, I could be wrong, a year. And suppliers will just do 1C, knowing that the Air Force will buy it. And doesn't matter what vehicle pulls up to the pump, it just doesn't matter. The 1C goes in and it'll drive away. You're not fucking around going, this is a diesel truck, this is a petrol car, that's a jet fuel plane. Just not fucking around, just going, here's the fuel truck, fill it up, piss it off, go get more fuel. And they have been experimenting with putting more alcohol in it. And what I didn't know is that a fairly large proportion, I think it's like 15% of this jet fuel is alcohol. It's weird. The US government subsidises their farmers to ridiculous extents. Let's just say, for example, it costs $600 a tonne to buy wheat. Let's just say that. Paul Keating, treasurer in the 80s, said to the farmers, no more tariffs, no more subsidies, and you can't get a Labor Party member elected in the country anymore. That's over. The farmers do not like Labor because of doing that. However, things changing, because what happened was the farmers all had to change and they became competitive. And now they grow wheat at like $400 a tonne and they get bumper crops in. And they go, we've just grown wheat because of volume at $200 a tonne and the world price is $600 a tonne. And they're making a fucking fortune. So they're happy about that, but they don't say that. They just still say Labor sucks. What the American farmers bring wheat in for cost is $2,500 a tonne. That's how much it costs them to make wheat. Not an Australian farmer, like I said, $400 down to $200 for volume. An American farmer costs $2,500 to make wheat, which blows my mind, right? Then they harvest it and put it on grain trucks, and the US government subsidises them to the tune of $3,500 a tonne. They can't lose, right? The American farmer cannot lose.
Yeah.
And they still hate the government for taxing them. It's like, welfare. And they bitch about welfare. Happens in Australia too. Anyway, and the reason they do this is that if a third world country goes, no, you cannot put a huge fucking airbase with nuclear weapons on our soil, we would prefer not to be that guy. The American government goes, what do you sell as an export? Oh, we sell sugar, we sell wheat. You sell wheat. Wheat is running currently at $600 a tonne. Yes, and we're just making ends meet. That's nice. Because tomorrow morning, wheat will be selling on the world market for $150 a tonne. And it will keep selling for $150 a tonne until you change your mind. And they do this all the fucking time with all kinds of foods and all kinds of commodities. And they will do it for years. They did it to Castro with sugar. And the sugar farmers in Australia had to really tighten up their game. For a long time in Australia, what they used to do was burn the sugar. They used to burn the crop. And what they would do is it'd start the process of milling, and it'd get rid of all the pests and weeds and snakes, and go through like that. And cane cutters could go through and fucking cut the cane. These days, no, no way. There are no cane flyers anymore. There's still some in some places because they grow it for booze and they grow it for different applications. But now it's all machines, and they paint the power poles in clown colours.
Yeah.
Because the drivers driving at night with headlights on, because this operation when they harvest goes 24 hours a day for a month. This is how fucking big these sugar farms are. As they come up to the power poles, these harvesters, these sugar harvesters, are so powerful and so fucking strong that they will grind through the power poles. It hasn't in the past been uncommon to have a whole row of power poles just fucking chewed up by a harvester, and have the harvester turn around, drive over the wires, blow every transformer in town, and drive back and fucking finish off the power poles that have now fallen over and grind up the cross pieces. And of course the farmer's going $6,000 a pole. Going to be a lean year.
I just remembered I have to test something. I got a new toy for making videos, a big ring light.
Ooh.
And
ooh.
Because I probably want to shoot.
You've got a ring light.
Yeah.
Is that for you looking beautiful?
It's to make me look beautiful, yes.
Team Rogers looks beautiful. Turn your ring light down just a little bit.
Well, no.
Okay.
There
you go. There you go.
I gotta just test it. Oh, no,
just blowing out a bit.
Again, it's not for the webcam, so nothing you say is meaningful.
Applicable.
I've got my Vidya camera there, and I just need to run a couple tests of what it looks like. I think that's about where I normally have it. Maybe? What's that look like? I gotta test this. Yes, I'm going to be really flared out when I do this. Look at me, I look like a weird alien fucking thing.
Not so bad though. Not as bad as you think.
If I had the controls, I'd change it, but the fucking software that controls it is being a shit. I got a test.
You could just have amazing effects with those ring lights. I've seen women who don't look great get in front of ring lights and all of a sudden look amazing.
So I've got to try it because I haven't done any test shoots with this ring light.
Did you hear what I said about women and ring lights?
No.
I've seen women who don't look amazing get in front of ring lights to do, makeup tutorials and that, and they look amazing.
Yeah, because it gets rid of all your wrinkles and stuff.
Oh, it's just really amazing. First time I saw the effect was in a magazine right at the end of the 1980s, and I was just blown away. Now, of course, everyone uses it, but
yes,
it's still a good effect.
I'm just going to test. Well, of course, I'm not going to say. I'm going to eventually take this back to my computer and look at it, and I don't know. So I'll be doing it with drinks and going, hey, I'm making drinks with my beautiful ring light. How does that look? From this distance, it looks good, but it's really hard.
It actually brings the highlights of the glass out really nicely, and it also.
So I've got two different filters on the ring light as well. So that's like that's actually an orange filter on it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Geez, the white balance on your bloody on your computer cam is really good.
Right. This one is just a softener that keeps it white. Ugh.
I'm hearing the distinct sounds of angry dealing with lights, and they are distinct.
All right. What does that look like? Now I had an orange one on before. Now it's white.
That's a much nicer effect.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still completely flared out there, but I've just got to record something on the video camera, and because I'll be shooting videos tomorrow night on the channel.
Will there be a live stream tomorrow night? Oh,
Yeah.
it's Thursday. Yes, dickhead. No, today's Thursday. Oh, it's Friday. It's long night.
Tomorrow's Friday, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of cocktails for my cocktail channel tomorrow night. And tomorrow I will check this test footage and decide how best to do it. But by jings, that ring light is bright, and I'm going to have to get used. It's not that hard. You know, from stage lights, when you can't see a goddamn thing,
You just can't see shit. You've got to learn to look through the light, which sounds weird. So, okay, so you got the sun looking at you. It's focused at you. And the habit of your eyes is to look right at it and then forget it. You can't see anything for like a minute. So what you got to do is look under the light, through the beam of the light. And bizarrely enough, you can see the faces of the audience reflected off the set behind you. And you can start looking them in the eye. If the theatre's small enough, if it's big enough, then they've got stair lighting and sconce lighting around so that people don't trip over and die. So you can see them anyway. Anywho, yeah, you've got to learn to look through the lights. What a bitch is to juggle under stage lights.
when the things you're throwing in the air literally disappear into the light.
They literally disappear into the light, and you go, I have no fucking idea where that is. And at the top of its arc, I've got to throw a ball under it. Great. I don't know where that. And you've got to practice it, because what you've got to do is you've actually got to time the throw. And after you've learned to visually juggle, timing the throw is a biatch.
Oh wow, that was weird. ADZ just vanished. I don't know if his battery died or his internet died, but that was super weird and without warning. Yes, L3, I can change the brightness on that ring light quite a bit. But I basically wanted to see. He's back. He's back. What happened, big guy?
I just got sorry you're out.
You just vanished.
Page.
Yeah.
And I was going, what do I do? Do I look at the email again, or do I just go back button? And I just went, fucking Hail Mary, back button.
And it worked.
And it worked.
There you go. It's so good.
I was backstage. I did all the settings, record time.
So good, man.
I thought, don't touch anything. It was right the first time. Just hit yes, it says go. And if it's fucked, then go back into the settings later. I'm going to press my nurse call button and get a cup of coffee.
Oh, lucky you. Yes.
Yeah.
She probably wouldn't make you a snackery, so you have to live vicariously through that. So So I'm trying to remember. I had in mind the 3 videos I was going to make, and I know I've asked people on the stream this before, but I said it in the stream what I was going to do. It's variations on a drink, and I was going to do like basically a green pina colada because I saw some other YouTube channels. One guy did it with absinthe, and one guy did it with green chartreuse, and I want to try them side by side. And then there were 2 other classic ones. White Zombie. That was the one I couldn't remember. So, see, you're complaining about not being able to remember things. At least you have an excuse. I'm having trouble remembering these things I said I was going to do. It's a white zombie and a green Negroni. So it's like classic cocktails, but change an ingredient. So like a zombie is normally all the rums. This recipe I found for a white zombie was white spirits. So it's like gin and vodka and stuff. And so I thought it'd be fun to do different colored ones, a green pina colada and a white zombie and a green Negroni. So, and of course, white zombie, all I hear is Rob Zombie going, more human than human, more human than human. So, oh, Kirsten, the ring light I got off Amazon. There are, of course, a huge cavalcade of options they have. This was like a mid-range one. There were more expensive ones that had a remote for changing the warmth of the light, like not just the intensity. You could actually change the warmth of the light that it's emitting. This one doesn't have a remote, has a little thing to adjust the intensity of the light, and I've got some plastic covers for it. One is an opaque white one for softening the light, but keeping it white. And then there's an orange one, which I think, and I need to play back this video on my computer to be sure. I think the orange one might make my pasty flesh tones look more appealing.
When you're doing Photoshop, you always redden up the faces.
Yeah. So I just did test footage with the orange filter and the white softening filter on there, and I've got to look at them on my editing software and see which one makes me look more beautiful.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And you're a bit blown out in both of them.
Webcam. Look again, I have to remember before tomorrow night's stream to try and reinstall the software that controls the webcam, because that software simply isn't fucking. I used to be able to adjust, and the last couple of days, for no apparent reason, the software that controls the webcam won't fucking launch, and so I can't adjust the aperture or anything on it.
That's fucked up.
Well, Kirsten's very pink, so you use a blue filter. Well, I'm very pale and pasty, so I want a red filter. I mean, I think with this one, because it's LEDs, they've got a very blue bias, so you'd be fine. I will be very, very interested to see what that looks like on my editing software, because at some point, I don't know, a month or two, I don't fucking know, when we're not under such strict lockdown, Abigail's going to come over to my place and install a bunch of upgrades into my computer, so I'll be able to shoot and edit on 4K, because at the moment my editing software, my computer just shits itself if I try and edit 4K. It just goes, how about we give that to you at a frame rate of 2 frames a second, because it's hurting your little computer brain to try and process that much information.
My computer power would make it 2 frames a day.
Yeah.
And that's with all 3 of them going.
Because Scotty from marketing introduced the tax write-off for businesses just before the end of the financial year. Spend something on capital works and you get this big tax write-off. And my accountant messaged me and said, you qualify for this, fucking spend some money and do stuff. So I spent up fairly big on computer parts just before the end of the financial year.
Please come in. Hello, how are you?
How are you?
I am good. After being in the doghouse today for being very rude to a nurse, which I will never do again. Would you be so kind, if you have time, to make me a cup of coffee, please?
Yep, no problem.
Thank you so much.
All right, at all.
The only reason I've got the door shut is to not make noise for everyone. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You see, that's how AD normally talks to nurses. That's why he's so angry at himself, because he lost it a bit today.
Yeah, what a fucker. What a fucker. And
Yeah.
I was getting on really good terms with him, and I was getting favours, and I was getting really well treated, and I'm just...
You'll get it back. You'll get it back.
Well, I've only got 7 days.
Sorry, what?
My estimated time of release is
Yeah.
the 17th. And my walking has been getting worse, my memory has been getting worse, and my grip has been getting worse. No one knows what's going on. I've also got, and I'm going to show you this, which is going to be awkward because I've got to lift my leg up and get the camera just right.
Oh,
So
God, what are you showing us?
Here we go. Oh, what's going to hurt me? Right.
Oh, my God. Oh, you've got compression stockings on.
Compression bandages on. And they stay on until 11 o'clock at night. And they go back on at 6 o'clock in the morning. You have no idea how much these things hurt.
Oof.
And I just lost some jam, so that's okay. Have I got my stirry stick? I do. I tell you what.
Ooh. Kirsten's estimated time of release is 1st October because she's about to go to Sydney and has to be in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Shit.
So she gets to go out into the world. But again, the fact that you would, notwithstanding things might get worse in Sydney in the next 2 weeks, you get to get out and do stuff in Sydney that we're not getting to do in Melbourne for a goodly time.
Mind you, fucking getting back into Victoria might be in fucking trouble. Because after Andrews has taken so much shit, it looks like he's going to win. Because remember the first curve down was his, and he was going, no one fucking screamed victory yet. We're not standing on an aircraft carrier being a dick.
Yes. We're not W.
He just said, don't get nuts. Don't get nuts. And then it bounced. And he said, look, I told you not to get nuts. And now we're going to get really fucking serious about this. Yeah. And then put all the quarantines and the lockdowns on. And everyone went, well, that's fucked, Dan. But I get it. And he's constantly on the blower going, Victoria, you amaze me. You've fucking all done it. You've all just fucking turned around and done it. Thank you for not fucking killing everyone. And
apart from the lunatics who are, but you know.
Well, blow my mind. Broady's not doing it, and fucking dickhead rich people in the South Coast aren't doing it. Fucking. The ruling class are having fucking parties. And
yeah, well, they were responsible for the first wave because they were all coming.
Right. They brought it to the fucking country off the boats.
Aspen that had a huge outbreak, and they brought it back here. This wave you've seen, you can see the imbalance. It's more severe in very working class suburbs. Basically, people who can't afford to not go to work. This is very clearly along economic lines at the moment.
It's stark. It is stark how fucking cut up this country is economically.
Yeah.
And,
but the first wave was those pieces of shit making the choice to fly back from infection zones and not obey any distancing rules when they got back. This
nod and wink at their mates.
Yeah.
And go, I'll be right. You can just let me in.
This
one's
one's
got symptoms. I'll be right. He'll be right.
This one's been exacerbated by people who can't afford to not go to work, and they have 3 jobs. So
Yeah.
if they get an infection, they spread it to 3 different workplaces. That's why aged care is such a fucking disaster, because the people are paid so poorly, they have to work in 3 different venues. So you get an outbreak in one venue, it spreads to all the venues. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
exposing all the fatal flaws of neoliberalism, basically.
Yeah.
The casualization of the workforce, the gig economy, the don't prepare for anything, do everything at the last minute shit. Because that in good years, that makes your bottom line look really good.
Just-in-time delivery has
Yep.
shut me since it
Yeah.
started, because it's never in time, it's never on time, and it's always more expensive. And it bucks me off. The amount of times I've been involved in shows that have relied on just-in-time delivery organisations to bring stuff to us, and you call up and go, guys, it's fucking tech rehearsal night. You are a week late. We have to build stuff now, so we can begin tomorrow. Oh yeah, there's going to be a few days delay on that. You've lost the business, and then you've got to go to a fucking company who's actually got stock, and they go, "Oh, it's festival time. We've got some, but it's going to cost you," and you end up spending 5 times as much.
Yeah.
And then these dirty fucks of just in time have the gall to thank you very much.
80 pausing in the middle of his diatribe of the evils of late-stage capitalism to politely
Bloody,
thank someone.
then they have the gall to send you an invoice.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
The
It's
fuck?
basically the whole lean, just-in-time stuff. In good years, it really works. It doesn't allow for the concept of bad years, which is really fucking dumb. Okay, I'm working in cybersecurity at the moment. I have been for a while. Security of any type is the most thankless job in the world, because if you spend a lot of money on it and it works, nothing happens. And
Nothing
people
happens
go,
and no one
why did
sees it.
you spend money on it? Nothing happened. If something goes wrong, and as the IRA said to Margaret Thatcher, the bad guys probing security, they say to you, you have to be lucky every day. We just have to be lucky once. And so if something does go wrong, and it inevitably will, then they go, well, why did we spend all this money on security? Because the bad things still happened. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck
People
up.
don't get the amount of shit that doesn't happen in Australia every day.
Yeah,
They
every
just don't get it.
day.
You know, Australians fucking roll around going, yeah, fucking life is cool. I can do what I want. There's no guns. There's a reason why there's no guns, kids. And fucking, I grew up at a time where everyone fronted. You had your chest out, you had your fucking fight face on.
Yeah.
All the time. And it was shit. And then my youngest brother came to Melbourne, and me and Dave Callan, yes, I'm name dropping, we're hanging out, and I'm going to say taking drugs with my youngest brother, who's a professional now. Shouldn't have said that. And watching her just change of politeness reminds me of the thick of it when they're arguing referral first and declining stuff over here. Yes, it's very much like that.
Because you don't want to piss off the cleaning staff. That's
ever. Because the cleaning staff have access to hardcore chemicals that clean and hardcore shit that doesn't.
Plus, you want them to clean. You want them to clean up your filth.
Yeah, not put the filth in.
Yeah.
I'm a girl who works in logistics and gets told, all old white men, I'm disappointed in them, looking amazing. Yeah.
Kirsten knows how to get what she wants, basically.
And it is amazing how old white men are disappointing. It is amazing. You get every old white man in the fucking world saying, I worked hard for my money and it was harder back then. You cunts walked out of fucking high school at 15 into a job that was waiting for you.
Yeah.
You did union fucking pay, which was set up to pay you, a wife and 2 kids for
And a
most of
house.
your fucking life. You had fucking benefits. You had fucking perks. You had 4 weeks off in summer and 2 weeks off in winter. You had an hour fucking lunch break. You had 2 half-an-hour fucking tea breaks. And you go, I worked hard for my fucking money. Cunts, you didn't.
No,
You
they really
fucking didn't. Because let me tell you what it was like to work for, because they say, oh, everyone fucking has to start at low pay. Fucking, I worked for a quarter per capita, per inflation basis of what I started on, for a quarter of that, which was loaded with 17.5% so that I could take 17.5% out of it and use that for my sick pay and my holidays, which was bullshit, because if you did that, you couldn't live. And
Exactly.
as soon as you didn't work, the moment you didn't work, you didn't get paid. And if you didn't get paid, you went under. And all of the fucking employers knew that. And they knew that they had you by the fucking foreskin and or balls. I'm just, I'm including everyone.
I think you mean by the labia or the balls, to include everyone.
Maybe I should have said that instead.
Yeah. But what you mean
I was just
is
trying to say that I'm not a foreskin hater.
the short and curlies.
Anyway.
Okay. No. Okay. For no apparent reason, I'm now going to complain about you and foreskins, because way back when we started the Mistress M videos, like 10 years ago, I don't know if anyone remembers, I used to do these advice videos with Mistress M, and eventually people would send us real questions and we'd answer them, but we had to get it rolling at first. So we made up the first couple questions, and Aidsy made up some things that were kind of funny. And one was about foreskins, and it's going, oh, my girlfriend's worried because her previous boyfriend was uncircumcised and I'm circumcised, and she's worried it's not the same, and what do we do? And there was this whole line about wrapping some day-old prosciutto around the end of your dick, and that would be just like having a foreskin. And we did it, and I sort of said at the time, oh, the anti-circumcision zealots are going to go off about this, and we posted it, and we did get a few. And you know what this guy who wrote the script said afterwards? I didn't think you were going to use that. That his excuse when we got ripped by the anti-circumcision zealots for his script, he said, you weren't meant to use it. That was a joke. And it was just
I had to say something. I was going to get fucking lynched by my own
to accept responsibility.
We had something like 1,500 either comments or emails.
They went nuts.
They went fucking nuts. And it was like, okay, guys, it was a joke.
Yeah.
Please, Jesus, understand it was a joke. No one wraps day-old prosciutto around the dick. No one. Girls have told me time and time again there is negligible difference between getting rooted by a cut or an uncut dick. And anyway, you're supposed to have a condom on anyway. Yeah. And Jesus, the hate. The fucking hate. And of course, wisely, Mr. Sam and Angry kicked the ball to me. Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, I deserved it. And I had to do a video. Going,
yeah.
Okay, look, there is no hate. There is no judgment. There is no anything. It was, in fact, meant as a joke. You're supposed to get it as a stupid thing that no one would do. And fucking... and it was mea culpa. I did it, and I still got hate. I still get, occasionally I go back to the AIDS Code Grey channel just to see if it's alive. Well, I still get views. Not a lot, but I still get views. And in the emails, there's always one anti-Circ lobby giving it to me. And I'm just going, it's been a while since I said anything, anything about circumcision itself at all. And the last thing I said was about African and Australian Indigenous rites of passage. And I got fucking shit over that. And I went, I never said anything about it because it went, I am not taking on Africans, Indigenous, and the anti-Circs at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I can't and won't. Because some of those black fellas in Australia will and can kill you. I remember being in a pub in Bathurst, and this guy has spilt a black fella's beer. And this black fella's looked at him with 200 years of hate in his dark eyes and says, "You're going to get me another beer." And this white guy said, "No, I'm fucking not." And he says, "Cunt, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'll do 20 years, but you'll be fucking dead." And
I remember that line.
No hint of irony, lie.
Yeah.
He meant it. He meant it.
Yeah.
He's, "Get me another beer or I'll kill you right now."
Yeah.
And his mate, the white guy's mate, get him by the elbow and said, "I will pay for it. We're going to go and get him another beer right now." And at the bar, I heard his mate say, "You are going to say sorry." "Oh, it's fucking rude." "No, it's not. He will hurt you. Minimally hurt you."
Yes.
And he said, "Clarity is imminent." Anyway, later on in the night, I saw a guy, another black guy, abuse this same guy. And this guy punched this guy, the other black guy, across the fucking room. He hit him in the head, and he flew across the fucking room like a fucking John Bay movie, Michael Bay movie. He just flew, and the whole bar went, "Fuck." And me and
get on the wrong side of this man.
left. Because it was like, this isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
Because black fellas tend not to lie down.
Yeah. And that's asking if we were at Bathurst Uni. Yes, that's where we met. We did the same course at uni in Bathurst.
And there's some really great pubs in Bathurst and some really fucking rough ones. And the really rough ones is where the cheap beer is. So guess who hangs out there? Theatre students usually.
Yes.
So, yeah, the anti-Circ lobby, 1,500 fucking hate mails, hate comments, you name it. And they kicked the ball to me and I deserved it. And I eventually had to do a video basically saying, "Okay, I'm a dick. I'm so sorry that I'm a dick, but I'm a dick." And I didn't use those words because that would have been wrong. It tailed off, but I was still getting 100 a day. And then it tailed off to 50, and then it tailed off to 10.
The
and it went for a long time. I was getting 10 hate mails for about 3 years.
Yeah. They've come down a bit. The anti-circumcision loonies, you don't even really see them anymore. Different sorts of loonies have taken over the internet. But 10 years ago, when we did that video, they were out there, and they were very.
What's happened in the meantime was Africa. Africa has the worst AIDS rate in the world, and everywhere where they've offered circumcision, the AIDS rate's plummeted, and it's just hard to.
Yes,
it's just hard to fucking to deny that. And when the anti-Circs go nuts, people just say, "Scoreboard, Africa." And there's other diseases that have reared their head. They're giving boys fucking the injection that give girls at 12. It's the cervical cancer injection.
Yeah. It's a vaccine.
It's a vaccine. Well, they've worked out to give it to the boys because the boys with the foreskins are the ones giving it to the girls, and they don't go to Muslim schools because they don't need to. They've in Muslim countries, cervical cancer is actually quite rare. They usually send cervical cancer patients overseas to get treated. Because the expertise just simply isn't there. The government pays for it, but the expertise, the knowledge, the skill, and the experience just isn't there. So you get these families who spend 6 and 8 months away from their mothers and wives, and it's gutting to hear the stories. And the government will fly the whole family to the other country if it's failed, and she's on her way out, and that's horrid. Let's come and see Switzerland. Great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's been a bit of evidence come out. It's pretty undeniable. However, there's another thing coming out, and in Australia right now, doctors go, "Oh no, we don't circumcise anymore. We don't do that." What's recently come out is a report that what used to happen was they used to, when they fucked up a circumcision, they used to do a sex change operation on the kid straight away. And years later, they had discovered that doesn't work. The kid's natural genetics takes over, and they're fucked up forever. So the government turned around and said, "Why are we doing this?" And what happened was they realised to not do sex change operations, but to do proper microsurgery to fix everything would cost a fortune. And of course, that's coming straight out of malpractice insurance. And the insurance company said, "Here's your premiums," and they were sky high and really over the top. And the doctors all said, "Well, I'm not fucking touching that." Even, I'm just going to gently say, against medical evidence, they all then recommended, no, don't do it, don't touch it. And we're now starting to get evidence that it was money. It wasn't health, it was money. And there's rumours that the government's about to turn around to the health insurance companies and go, well, the malpractice ones anyway, and go, pull your fucking heads in and make it feasible. No one's going to force anyone to do anything. That's not going to happen. But you're going to make it so that it's not unreasonable. And so the actual truth's going to come out, and it's going to cause a fucking shitstorm. And I'm not going to comment, and I'm going to be happy. I've done my comment. It was a fuck up, and it was a joke, and I still got slammed. Fucking, God. Fucking my wife at the time, I'm not married anymore, but my wife at the time was getting hate mail in her inbox. I didn't publish her inbox. I didn't tell anyone who she was, but they'd basically done research into me and found out who she was. Like, they basically had to spend money to
people will do that. The stalkers and shit will do that.
And she was getting, at the peak, she was getting 20 and 30 hate mails a day. And she fucking turned around and said, "This is all your fault." I'm going, yes, it is. What you do is you block them and you ignore it, and she just wouldn't ignore it. And it put a lot of strain. while we were going through a lot of strain, I was getting a lot of strain at home. And that tended to be the pattern. Whenever me and Angry were fucking really biting gravel, I'd come home to a world of shit. And it was like, yeah, thanks for that. I've had a really hard day. And if you could push that nail in really hard and hammer it, that's great. One night, I'm just going to tell this story once and it's going to be done. One night I came home from a gig that didn't go great, but I got paid. And this individual, this woman said, I'll have all that money. And I've gone, that's all the money I have for 2 weeks because you spent all my money on bills. Except for a bit. She said, no, I'm having all of it because if you weren't sick, you'd have a proper job.
Yeah.
And I just went, but I am, and it's not my fault. And we've got to remember that. And she said, well, it's still not making it easy for me. And I'm just going, what? Why would you? And remember at the time I was green from chemotherapy and vomiting 3-4 times a day. That was when the drug problem really took off. Because I was still trying to work and I was so sick that I could hardly get on stage, and I'd leave the stick backstage and push off either someone or something, bolt out to the mic, which was on a stand, hang on to the stand, and make it look like I meant it was cool. And then to get off, I just bolt for the slot, for the side, the wings, right? And someone would either catch me or I'd just hit the wall, grab a stick and hobble off. And I'd get back, and eventually the comics knew to get a plastic bag and fill the bag with the ice that the rider beer came in. And I'd sit down and they'd put ice on my knees and ankles so that in 20 minutes I could walk again. And they were really great about it. But it couldn't last, and eventually I got the nod. And they said, no.
You were too sick,
It's too much.
Well, that actually brings us up to bedtime. I just want to say, Annette's had a few drinks and saying, I want to call my exes. I won't, but I want to. Definitely don't. Don't do that, Annette. Have several drinks.
Never do that, Annette.
Do that. Annette knows, but I'm just providing additional moral support. You are making the right choice in not doing that. Understand the impulse, but I'm also completely on board with you recognizing that's a bad thing to do. Don't do that.
Anyone who has the impulse to get completely out of their head and go, I'm going to call my ex because they used to love me and they will show me love at 4 o'clock in the morning. And they will listen to my stories and we will have good times, and then I will tell them where they went wrong. That is not a strategy for a continued friendship. And can be a strategy to get yourself arrested for stalking. Which I've seen.
It's just not good. So
I did one drunk dial and got arrested for stalking because she was so pissed off. And he was in remand. He had no evidence that he wasn't, and he just his lawyer finally got him off. But he was in remand for like a month, and remand is kiddie prison, but it's
not good. Not good.
I've been in remand for 1 week. Frightening.
So saying good night to everyone in the chat.
Night, babes.
If you're around tomorrow, you're all fabulous. Take care, and we'll see you